What if I told you that you can get your own ads up and running for your own beauty or PMU business in 10 minutes or less? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process that we've done for over 1,600 beauty pros worldwide and helping you get your ads up and running without any technical or marketing experience or having to hire an expensive marketing agency, okay? Most people complicate this and most people stress it out and make it more difficult than it needs to be. Hi, my name is Danny Tran, and over the years, we have worked with thousands of beauty pros worldwide, helping them generate over $35 million in revenue, and I'm going to share the exact strategy that we have done for all of our private clients and giving you the step-by-step roadmap so that you can follow and launch your own ads again in the next 10 minutes or less. So, how to run paid ads to generate more PMU and beauty clients. I do want to preface this by saying that it is literally almost 2026. It is going to be a pay-to-play world. And so if you are not spending money for brand awareness and putting your own services and businesses out there, you will simply lose. Long gone are the days where you can just rely on organic and word of mouth and referrals. And sure, there are the small percentage of businesses who have been able to succeed with that. But if right now you are just starting out, or you are struggling to keep your books consistent and full, it is going to be a pay-to-play world. So keep that in mind. And one of the best ways to basically succeed is to pay to put your services in front of people who didn't even know that you existed yet, okay? So I also want to preface this by asking you rhetorically, what platform is better? Is it Meta or is it Google? We see this all the time in Facebook groups of what should I do? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it Google? Which platform is better? And really the answer is both, okay? And to really explain the pros of Meta or Facebook and Instagram is that you're going to get faster results, okay? It's also going to be more visual. So images and videos specifically on your newsfeed. And so I'm sure you've seen hundreds or thousands of ads before. You're scrolling through your Facebook or your Instagram and then you see that sponsored post, okay? Another really big pro is that it attracts people who are problem or solution unaware. Basically, people who didn't even know that you existed yet. So imagine somebody, again, who doesn't know what permanent makeup is, or what microblading is, or what scarred stretch mark revision is, and all of a sudden they see your ad for the first time. They're like, whoa, like this solution is out there? That's crazy. Yeah, of course I want to learn a little bit more, right? It also attracts people who aren't actively looking for your service. So let's just say if it's somebody who might not be in the market right now, but all of a sudden your ad pops up, they might be in the market after knowing that this actually exists, right? And you also get cheaper leads and you can get much higher volume, which means more opportunity. So that's with Meta, with Facebook and Instagram. Now, with Google, the pros of Google is that you get higher quality leads, okay? Because it's very high search intent, meaning if somebody is actively looking up best microblading artists in San Diego, their intention of buying or their interest level, it's already very high. And so for the average person who is searching those specific words, again, their intent to buy, it's very high. And that's why typically they're higher quality because they're not so much cold anymore. They already know what they want. They're very interested in the services. They just need to be closed on this last segment of the customer buying journey, okay? And so along those lines, they're very problem or solution aware. So they're usually much more far along the lines of the customer buying journey versus, again, if somebody is unaware of the problem or unaware of the solution, it takes a lot more nurturing for them to get to the point where they're ready to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars with you, right? But for somebody who's problem or solution aware, maybe they've done their research before, they've heard about this a while ago, they've been thinking about it for the past 6 months, they're much more inclined to pay you quicker compared to somebody who is unaware, okay? It also ranks on Google search and Google My Business. So when you're looking that up and then your Google My Business listing pops up, there's that immediate sense of trust because you look like a much more credible business. They see your reviews and all of the other things that pops up, okay? Also, you can get more gray area ads that can get approved that would normally get flagged on Facebook or Instagram, right? So when it comes to Facebook and Instagram, you have to be a lot more careful with the ads and the creatives and the pictures and the videos that you are running because you have a chance of it getting disapproved or flagged. And so with Google, when you are running those ads, you are able to get around the rules a little bit more, I guess you can say, and a lot more of the gray area ads, let's say for like paramedical or scalp micropigmentation or let's say 3D areola, there's a higher chance of you getting approved, okay? Now, why did I go over those two? Because at the end of the day, you do need both if you properly want to succeed and scale to the next level. And so this is the best pathway. Again, after working with thousands of beauty pros worldwide, there's many ways to succeed, but this is what we have found to be the best and the quickest pathway if you're looking to scale your business with new appointments and new bookings, okay? So if you are just starting out, running ads for the first time, or your books are empty, aka you need a client yesterday, I always highly recommend starting on Facebook and Instagram, okay? You can start scaling and capturing as much social proof as possible, which means reviews, testimonials, client reactions, portfolio pieces. And once your books are getting consistently fuller, you then add Google Ads to attract the higher intent audiences. So the best way to look at this is Facebook and Instagram is what attracts new audiences, people who didn't know that you existed yet, to your business. And Google is the cherry on top that adds more fuel to the fire, okay? One thing I also want to highlight is that if you're just brand new and you're having this mentality of, why don't I just focus on Google and target the higher quality leads? With Google, again, somebody has to actively search up best microblading artists in X city for your ads to even pop up. And so think about a month or a period where nobody is simply looking for those things. And that's why if you're only relying on Google, you're going to have these roller coaster moments of some months are great or some months are absolutely terrible. And so that's why you do need both platforms if you want to properly scale. Again, Facebook and Instagram attracts people who didn't know that you existed to your business, okay? And Google is the cherry on top who attracts even more people so that you can properly scale, okay? So in this particular video, I'm going to show you how to scale with Meta very easily, okay? I also want to mention that boosting posts is not running ads properly. So do not click boost, okay? It's not going to give you the control and flexibility to properly optimize your ads and scale, okay? And that is why it works for a little bit, okay? And if you are boosting posts, if you've done this for a while, you know exactly what I mean. It works for a little bit, and then it stops, and then you have to boost something else and then repeat it, right? So sending a meta ad, I promise you, takes less than 5 minutes. It's super simple. So I'm going to go over a couple of things here. So the very first thing we want to focus on is the targeting. Okay, so the targeting is basically the people that are going to see your ads. And so you can see this arrow here. If you have the option under locations, choose people who live in the location. Meta is changing a little bit right now. And so if you have the option to choose only the people who live in this location, I would choose that, because at the end of the day, if you live in, let's say, a very populated city with tourists and travelers and business travelers, you don't want to be targeting people who might not be long-term clients of yours, who are just vacationing or in that city for a short period of time, okay? Then all you want to do is target your surrounding area. And if you live in a smaller populated city, obviously you can go much wider in terms of the area you want to target. And then you just simply want to choose your demographic. So the age, and so let's say if you only work with mature skin, you want to skew that age a little bit older. If you want to attract a younger demographic, you skew that number younger. Or let's say if you are targeting specifically males for scalp micropigmentation, you only want to choose that specific gender, okay? And then next is the placements. So what you want to do on this part is choose manual placements and not Advantage Plus. This is going to work very well specifically for local-based businesses, local service-based businesses, okay? Obviously, there's many right ways for different types of campaigns and different types of businesses. So I'm not speaking about if you're doing like an e-com and you're looking to scale. I'm talking about specifically local service-based beauty businesses, okay? You want to choose manual placements because, before I get to the because, you also want to choose all devices. So it's not just desktop or mobile, you want to choose all. And between the platforms, you want to split test between Facebook and Instagram. So you want one separate campaign each and never together, okay? You're going to get a lot of different answers, but I'm going to show you exactly why this has helped us scale so successfully with so many of our clients. And so again, for the placements, you want to choose manual. You want to have more control in that process. And then for devices, it's all. And then you want to have one campaign for Facebook and one campaign for Instagram. You want to keep it separate, never together, okay? So if you take a look at this next part here, Facebook, as you can see, once we ran the campaign for a while, we got $4.34 for every single lead or every single inquiry, okay? And for Instagram, we got $8.11 per lead. So 4.34 versus 8.11. Now, to ask you, rhetorically, which placement is better, Facebook or Instagram? Okay. Instagram ended up being better because the conversion rate was much higher. So if I go back to here, Instagram got $8, Facebook got $4. So Facebook was basically half the cost. However, Instagram being better ended up being better because the conversion rate, meaning from a lead to a booked appointment or paying customer, was much higher. And at the end of the day, cheaper leads do not necessarily mean better quality. Okay. And so the two options, right? Another rhetorical question here. Would you rather have 300 leads at $5 a pop that convert at 5%? Or option B, 150 leads at $10 that convert at 15%. Now, in both scenarios, we spent $1,500, okay? But with option A, 5% of 300 leads is 15 clients. However, option B, 15% of 150 leads is 23 clients. Now, I want you to think about this, right? Getting a lower amount of leads but a higher conversion rate, it's always going to be best because number one, you're talking with much less people, right? And number two, it's just going to be much more cost efficient and you're going to make more revenue in the back end. So again, option B, it's obviously going to be the best bet here. And so that's why it's so important for you to split test. You're going to be able to see which platform gets you the best or cheaper. But again, cheaper doesn't necessarily mean best. And that's why you have to test to get the better results, right? And over time, you're going to start to notice the different types of leads for each platform. So lower quality versus higher quality versus more mature or younger demographic or higher responses for specific services, right? In every area, every location, every audience, every service, every business is different. And so what I mean by that is the more that you test, the more data that you're going to get. So some examples would be Facebook, you might notice that it skews more mature and you get a more mature demographic. And so maybe you focus on the more mature demographic and age ranges, specifically on Facebook, and the younger on Instagram. Maybe on Facebook, you're going to get people who are more interested in lips and liner. And then on Instagram, it's more brows. And again, every area is different and there's no way to basically see what's going to be the best unless you spend some money and test. But over time, you're going to get that data and really hone in of, okay, Facebook, it's going to be best for X, Y, and Z, and Instagram is going to be best for A, B, and C. And then from there, you can scale your budgets accordingly, okay? Now, next is the creative. This is what makes people click. What are the pictures, the images, the videos that you are going to use? So transformation content has always worked best for us. And I want to note that you now have literally 2 seconds to capture somebody's attention. Okay, so two things I want to mention here. Transformation content works best because people can see, okay, they went from point A to point B. They went to having very sparse brows to very full looking brows. They went from having all of these scars and stretch marks to having beautiful, smooth skin. And so people can envision themselves in that transformation versus if you just simply post the end result, the after result, the beauty, the beautiful side of it, people are going to see like how much of a change or transformation happened, okay? And yes, you literally have 2 seconds to capture someone's attention. So you want to make it as clickbaity as possible, especially if you're using videos, okay? Now, before and afters, statics have always performed the best for us. Again, disclaimer, every area is going to be a little bit different. That's why you have to test. Sometimes in areas, reels and videos do work better, but data-wise, the majority of the time statics have worked best for us, and specifically with before and afters. I also want to highlight that before and afters used to get flagged all of the time on Facebook and Instagram when it came to permanent makeup, right? And certain beauty services. Just because in the past, there were things like the fat loss industry that were showing, lose 60 pounds in 5 days, and they showed the before and after, and it wasn't truthful. And so it was very deceptive is what they called it. So right now, tread carefully, but before and after statics are working very, very well. So like that, or like that, or like that. And organic reel style transformations also work very well. And I want to highlight again, keep it short and sweet, right? So specifically for reels, for example, you want to highlight the transformation in the first couple of seconds. You don't want to have a 90-second reel where the first 30 seconds, it's kind of nothing, and then the transformations at the end. People might not even watch the whole video of your first couple of seconds, doesn't hook them in, okay? Text-based creatives also convert amazingly well. This is really for, I'm going to say, gray area industries that typically get flagged. So anything paramedical, scars, stretch marks, anything that shows a lot of skin. So literally saying and telling people what the offer is or what the service is directly on the creative itself. So this is one of our clients here. Say goodbye to scars, stretch marks, and acne scars with scar revision and camouflage. Okay. These worked really, really well. Okay. Educational reels showcasing you and educating the client on the process also works extremely well. This works very well for services where people didn't know that it was a solution yet. So things like paramedical, scars and stretch marks, scalp micropigmentation, even on the PMU side things. So people can see and hear your voice, and then you educating them and walking through the process is always such great content, okay? Some really important notes here. For static image ads, if you're just using a static image, you always want to make sure that you have written text on the creative that explains what it is that you're promoting, okay? On the first couple of images that I showed you, obviously we cropped like the bottom part in terms of like what the offer is, but what I'm trying to say here is that if you just show an after photo like this, it's not clear. Like, is it makeup, skincare, lashes, liner, lips, brows? Like what is this actually promoting? And a confused buyer would never buy, and they might not even click on the ad. It's like, well, like, what is this for? So you always want to have text on the actual image. For example, permanent brows or lip flushing, scalp micropigmentation, okay? Important note number 2, remember that the creative that you use for ads, it will always attract that demographic. So Asian versus Caucasian skin, or younger or more mature skin, right? And so if you're only using, let's say, Asian skin, and you're only attracting Asian people in your messages and your leads, that's the reason why. And so you always want to test different images that show different demographics and skin types, and that way you can attract a much more diverse group of people, okay? And important note number 3, one of the things to also pay attention to is something called the click-through rate. Anything below 1% means your creative isn't being clicked on enough. And so you want to aim for at least a 2% CTR, especially with the creatives that you're utilizing. And so if you're not getting any leads, or your cost per lead is really high, and you take a look at your CTR and it's really low, that just simply means that people aren't clicking on your ad. All right. Now, a couple of things that as bonuses that I want to mention here. Number 1, retargeting ads. Like, you want to be omnipresent. So if somebody visits your current website, so that's a Facebook page or Instagram, like, you want your ads to follow them. Think about the last time you tried to buy something online and you didn't make the purchase. You added to your shopping cart, you didn't buy, but the next day you went on your Instagram and you saw that exact item and you probably made the purchase, right? So just because they're not ready to buy now doesn't mean that they won't be ready to buy tomorrow. And so you want to be omnipresent, and retargeting is one of the most powerful things that you can do when it comes to getting people to buy. Because if somebody is seeing your ad for the first time and they weren't aware of who you are or what the service even is, the chances of them buying or wanting to buy right away, it's extremely low, right? And so when I say omnipresent, this is what I mean. If somebody goes onto your website, they're getting tracked, right? We install something called a Facebook pixel that's directly on your website, okay? And so anytime that somebody visits your website, they're being tracked. Anytime that somebody visits your Instagram page and engages with any post or ad, they're being tracked. And anytime somebody goes onto your Facebook and they engage with any post or ad, they're getting tracked. And anytime that they're, again, visiting those things, they're now going to see your ads repeatedly. And how you do the retargeting is by creating these audiences. So if you take a look here, we created an audience for all website visitors over the past 180 days. We targeted everybody who engaged with a post or ad on our Instagram for the last 365 days, and anyone who engaged with our Facebook page for the last 365 days. So think about that. Imagine being able to target somebody for a year straight, a whole year, okay? And every 30 days, they see a different ad and a different angle from you, a different creative, until they're ready to buy, okay? And that's the power of retargeting. Just because they weren't ready to buy today doesn't mean that they're not ready to buy later on. And there was a study done where it was how many touch points before a sale, meaning how many times did somebody need to see your ad or your content before they're ready to buy. So somebody that's warm, somebody who's already like aware of you and the services, they're gonna need between 5 and 12 touches, okay? And a cold prospect, it can require 20 to 50. So seeing your ads and content 20 to 50 times before they're ready to buy. So just keep that in mind. Okay, a few other bonus tips here. as you are running ads, you're going to get tons of new followers, okay, on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So every time that you get a new follow request, make it a point to message them immediately. A very simple script. Hey, Jenna, thanks for the follow. What motivated you to connect? That's it. And oftentimes you're going to open the door for somebody to inquire about your services and want to learn more. Okay. I see so many people not taking advantage of this. And if somebody is following you specifically from an ad, they're showing some sort of interest. And so you want to make that you want to start and initiate that conversation, because a lot of times it's going to open the door for them to inquire about your services. Okay. And imagine you have 200 new followers every month from ads, and you convert 10% of them. That's 20 new clients paying you $500, $600, $700, $800, $1,000 just by you being proactive with this, okay? And the question is, on average, how many likes do you think you get every month collectively on all of your posts and ads? Likes, okay? Not follows, likes. Imagine if it's thousands. So you can turn your comments and likes into conversations. So what you want to do is reach out to anybody who comments or likes your posts or ads, and that's hundreds or thousands of new opportunities every single month. Okay. And the likes on your ads, these are hidden opportunities, because over time, your ads, it's going to collect hundreds or thousands of likes. And every single one of them is a potential client. Okay. So a simple outreach message can turn all of this engagement to bookings, like, hey, Jenna, thanks for liking our ombre powder brow holiday ad. Just curious, are you thinking about getting your brows done? That's it. Okay. So again, every person that likes or comments on your post. And on your organic post, because if now people are following you and you're posting regularly, it's also going to get plenty of likes. And every single one of them, I want to highlight again, it's a new opportunity for you. And you obviously want to skip any PMU artists or supporters who aren't potential clients, right? And so again, hey, Jenna, thanks for liking my post about powder brows. Just out of curiosity, were you thinking about getting your brows done? And that is going to open the door for so many conversations, okay? And so that is the two bonus tips. That's really it. Like, running ads itself is not complicated. It's not difficult at all. It's actually quite simple. So just to highlight here and recap here, you just need to have the right targeting, the right placements, and the right creatives, okay? And once you're running ads for a while, you're going to be able to retarget people and track where they're visiting, and that way they're going to see your ads over and over again, and you stay omnipresent. And then as the bonuses, you also want to take advantage of all of the organic stuff that's happening in the back end. So anytime that you get new followers, you want to reach out. Anytime somebody likes your ads, you want to reach out. And anytime somebody likes your organic posts, you also want to reach out and start that initial conversation. And that's going to turn into so many booked appointments for you. And that, my friends, is how you run stupid, simple ads for your PMU or beauty business. And so if you liked this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We have new videos dropping weekly full of education and value and golden nuggets just like this. Now, if you want all of our trainings and resources and education handed over to you on a silver platter that has been proven to help over 1,600 beauty pros worldwide, I want to introduce you to the Beauty Success System. We're going to drop the link in the description below. And for those of you who want to work with us on a one-on-one basis, where our team comes into your business, runs all of your ads, handles all of your marketing so it's completely hands-off, I also want to invite you to book a free consultation call with our team. We have many exciting things happening to our programs this year, so I'll also drop the link in the description. So with that said, run some ads, make some money, and we'll see you on the next one.